Hi everybody, this is Amy from Temple Seeker, and today I am talking about how fast can you learn Portuguese. So one of my life ambitions was to be able to speak another language, and I have done in the past a little bit of French, a little bit of German and a little bit of Spanish. I'd say that with school and then study outside of school as an adult, I've probably reached intermediate level. But lower intermediate. I never quite got to the stage where I could speak French or German quite fluently in conversation. So that was mainly my objective with Portuguese. I chose Portuguese because I love Portugal. I want to live in Portugal. It's in my future plans for retirement. I also want to travel to Brazil. So Portuguese was a really good fit for me as a language. So it took me about 2 years to get to B2 level, which is upper intermediate. And there is some quite advanced grammar that comes with level B2. This is in the European Languages Framework, by the way. So after 2 years of some independent study and some tuition at the University of Coimbra, both online and in person, I managed to reach B2. It means that I'm conversationally fluent, but although there's a lot of words missing, but I can still speak enough Portuguese to be able to understand the context or to be able to ask someone to help me out with understanding what a certain word means in Portuguese. So that's the level that I reached. I managed to reach A1 in 6 months of personal online study and solo study. So I used Duolingo, I used Practice Portuguese. PracticePortuguese.com is a great website, and they've got an app as well. Practice Portuguese is more geared up to the European Portuguese, whereas Duolingo is mainly Brazilian Portuguese. So make sure that you bear that in mind when you're learning, because they are different. There are grammatical differences, and there's also differences in certain words as well. So pick one and run with it. The Portuguese, as in the European Portuguese, in my opinion, is a little bit harder because in European Portuguese, they use tu, which is the very informal way of speaking with your friends. But of course, there's a whole other set of verb forms that you need if you're going to learn to use tu. They don't really use tu in Brazil. They mainly use você. So you'll hear that a lot in Brazilian Portuguese. You'll probably hear a lot of Brazilian Portuguese spoken on Netflix as well. But I do watch the news in Portuguese on YouTube, and when I'm in Portugal as well. I do listen to a few podcasts now in Portuguese, which has really, really helped my understanding of the language. So 6 months in, I got to level A1 independently with apps and with studying verbs on my own and with listening to Portuguese. When I got to the University of Coimbra, I did an entrance exam and I managed to skip A1 and go straight into A2. I then did A2 as a second semester course, and then the following year I did B1 as a first semester course and B2 as a second semester course, and within the next 6 weeks I will be finishing B2. So that's about 2 years to get fluent. I do intend to do C1 as well, but I think I'll be doing that as a summer course, just simply because to dedicate a whole other year just to language learning is a lot in time and also in money, in finances as well. So what I might do is go back to the UK, continue to study Portuguese independently again with the foundations that I've got and with my level B2 that I've already got, and then I will come back probably to Coimbra to do C1 as a summer course, maybe a 4 or a 6 week course to get my certification for that as well. So I think that if you reach B2, you're probably conversationally fluent, provided that you're quite a confident speaker. So what's really helped me is that I'm not scared to make mistakes, and I'm quite a chatty person in English naturally anyway. So I will talk to people in Ubers, I will talk to people at the pastelaria, I'll practice Portuguese with people on the street if they stop and talk to me. I'm not scared to do that. So if you've got a confident and an outgoing personality, that's really, really going to help. There's a few other tools that I can recommend for you as well. Thank you to my friend Caitlin for recommending some of these. So there's a website called verbagata.com and I will post this in the link down below as well so that you can have access to that. And Verbogata has helped me to understand how to conjugate the verbs. So there's a lot of conjugations of verbs in Portuguese. So you'll do your past tense, your present tense, your future. They also have this tense which doesn't really exist in English, which is imperfect tense, which is like something that happened way back. Or if you're telling a story, you're going to use imperfect. They've then got different forms of verbs for whether something is certain or not certain. So you've got conjuntivo as well, which is the form of verbs that you're going to use if you're talking about something that is a possibility, or it may have happened, or it may happen in the future. And with the conjuntivo, you've then got imperfect past, present and future of that one as well. So there's a lot of verb endings that you need to learn. And the verb is going to change, you know, for whether you're talking about you, me, them. So you need to learn all of those forms for each form of the verb. It's complicated. The verbs is probably the thing that I've struggled with the most. The other thing that's really, really helped me to progress, and I've progressed quite a lot in the last few months, is to have Portuguese one-to-one tuition. So I have used italki.com to book private Portuguese teachers to help me online. And I've been having, I'd say, 2 or 3 lessons a week with a private teacher to either practice grammar and correct written work with me, or to just practice speaking and have them correct me every time I make a mistake. I don't rate these AI apps, if I'm honest, because I've noticed, I've tried a couple of them and they make mistakes, or their pronunciation isn't quite right. So I would say definitely get somebody, a Portuguese teacher with quite a good accent. So I've got a great teacher called Deborah, and she is from Leiria, I believe. So the central regions, they have quite understandable accents. Sometimes I struggle a little bit with people from Porto or further north. The Lisbon accent is okay as well, I would say. But definitely consider some of these things. I would say that it's a very, very long journey. You need to dedicate, I'd say 300 to 400 hours per level. So I've really still got another year of work to do because I want to get to C1 and then eventually C2. So I'm going to give myself another 6 months to get to C1 level. And then that's probably going to be spoken fluency for sure, and then almost fluent in written. Once you get to C2 level, that is when you are fluent spoken and written Portuguese, and also you can have some technical language and understanding. So like if you're doing a degree, I don't know, a history degree or a politics degree, whatever it might be, you could do that in Portuguese. Most Portuguese universities, if you're interested in studying here for a degree or a master's, will ask for evidence of B2. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get a certificate with mine, because once you get to B2, you can probably get accepted into the good universities such as Coimbra, Porto, Lisbon, and you can understand enough Portuguese to manage the course. The other thing to know is that when you do a master's in Porto, most of the subjects will allow you to write your thesis in English. So although you'll be studying and on a daily basis you'll be learning in Portuguese, you can submit work in English. Just double check if you are going to do a university course here in Portugal that is the case. So in essence, I would say you need at least 3 years to get to C1 or C2 level in Portuguese, and you probably need 4 years to embed that and practice it. So I'd highly recommend that you spend a load of time in Portugal and just start speaking. You'll really enjoy it. There's some funny things that will happen as well, because we have lots of words that sound like English, but they don't mean that. So in Portuguese, we call them falso amigos, false friends. You think that you're going to say this, but actually you're saying something completely different. So beware of the falso amigos. It's scary. But then sometimes you just have to try. And if somebody laughs at you or completely looks baffled, you know you've tried, but you got the wrong word. So have fun with it. It's really enjoyable. It's a fantastic language. I would say that my Portuguese is now better than my French, because I did French up to GCSE and also Spanish as well. So my Portuguese is now way better than my French or Spanish. And I'm probably going to find it hard now to go back to French or Spanish after my 2 years of Portuguese. But we will see. I've really enjoyed it. I really, really recommend it. The language is beautiful. It's fantastic. You'll enjoy learning. You'll feel like you're making progress. And the one last thing that I wanted to say as well with language learning for Portuguese is try to get out of Porto and Lisbon. So when I first came to Portugal, I had a lot of situations where I would want to practice Portuguese, but they were just speaking back to me in English. And that's one of the reasons why I came to Coimbra, because it's a little bit of a smaller town, and I did feel like when I arrived here, combined with the classes and speaking Portuguese on the street and in the cafes and things like that, that I really, really did improve. So definitely consider spending time in Portugal and out of Porto and Lisbon. If you've got any questions about learning Portuguese, please write them in the comments and I'll make sure that I answer you. Please subscribe to my channel, because I'm temple seeker, so a lot of my vlogs are about historical sites, religious sites, things like that. But I'm also blogging my personal Portuguese learning journey as well. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you've found it really helpful, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you. Bye.